I saw the sun, opened up my eyes. I saw the sign. Oh, the sign. It's a sign. Okay, look. Actors, actresses, thespians, performers in general, they're a right funny bunch. Sometimes they can just turn it on and Pacino it out of the park.
Kiss me, man. What? Kiss me. When I'm being fucked, I like to get kissed a lot.
And then, on other days, well, they can just Pacino it right back to earth again.
Everyone wants my Dunkachino. Can't get enough of my Dunkachino. Kids from 7 to 17 lining up for my Dunkachino. What's my name?
Dunkachino. Dunkachino.
But sometimes, and I mean sometimes, it's not always the actor's fault. There are directors, there are screenwriters, there are editors, there are co-stars. All of them, they can all have a hand in making an actor look like an abominable twat. So, it's only fair, it's very important, that we pay attention to this when we compile this list. The worst lines ever delivered on screen. Now, when I say delivered, I'm not talking about the worst delivery of a line. You know, a line that in another's jaws might have been bearable. A line that on paper is fine. But given to, I don't know, say Mark Wahlberg, it seems like an unbelievable, almost murderous crime.
What? No.
Another example, say, when renowned show jumper Oliver Skeet, I say renowned show jumper, I mean renowned as much as a show jumper can be, almost laughs his way through the line.
Place needed redecorating anyway.
I mean, yeah, that is an appalling delivery. But the line itself is actually fine. I mean, yeah, obviously it's nowhere near as hilarious as Oliver seems to find it. But come on, give him some slack. He's a show jumper. And a minor, and I mean oh so minor, UK celebrity. I believe he was once in a wrestling reality show, maybe, as well as this movie. In fact, I think I might even be more famous than he is. And this is all I do. Aha! I believe he was in another movie with ex-West End gangster and renowned hardman. Well, I love the Rancid song.
Where are you motherfuckers? Criminals won't be suckers if you don't step aside for David Courtney.
David Courtney. Now, there's 100 innocent reasons why a gangster and a man invested in horses might become friends. There's also one very suspicious one, granted. And I am not in any way suggesting that a connection to the underworld and the threat of violence might have any impact in securing you a role which you are clearly not qualified for. I am, however, saying that Oliver Skeet appears to be the sort of man that makes gupping faces at fish in the aquarium. David Courtney is an ex-UK gangster, right? He's an ex-UK gangster. We're sure. We're definitely. Okay, look, I live alone, I have no loved ones, and my right eye is my favourite. Bravely soldiering on and forgetting about all of that I just said. How the hell was the writer meant to know that this line was going to end up in the mouth of Oliver Skeet? That it wasn't going to be handed to somebody that could actually perform their relatively fine, albeit definitely not funny line? How was the director supposed to know that the producers had been gifted ringside seats to an arena somewhere in Windsor? And that there was unfortunately no way that this cameo was going to end up on a DVD entitled For the Attention of Oliver Skeet Only. What I'm saying is that in this ranking I'm not simply charting bad performances. I'm also talking about lines that are shit to begin with. It was shit when it was conceived, it was liquid shit when it was written, and it became explosive shit when it was spoken. And the fact that during any of this process it wasn't taken outside and shot is unfucking forgivable. I'd also like to add another caveat, and this kind of harks back to the Oliver Skeet show jumping stuff. We're going to call this the horse law.
A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course.
The performer in question must have previously demonstrated that they are capable of acting. Or at the very least have demonstrated that they are able to deliver lines in such a manner that their poor deliverers haven't become some sort of pop culture phenomenon. where their deliveries have become infamously unique to them. Part of their selling point even. I'm looking at you, Arnie.
You are not sending me to the cooler.
I'll be back.
Consider that a divorce.
You're a fucking choir boy compared to me. A choir boy.
Get to the chopper!
It's not a tumor.
It's turbo time.
But I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine!
And I'm also not considering B-movies. You know, where their naffness has become the very thing that they are lauded for. Say goodbye to The Room.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Future events such as these will affect you in the future.
You're not welcome here. And lastly, it must be the line itself. I don't want to have to go burrowing down into context. For example, Save Martha.
Save Martha! Why did you say that name? Martha, why did you say that name?
Stop! Please, stop!
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name.
Yeah, okay. That entire moment is utterly ridiculous. Watching it on screen is an offence to even spoof cinema. But the words, Save Martha, given the context of the narrative, well, they make fucking sense. Although the inclusion of that narrative as a dramatic tool might be somewhat idiotic, the line fits. And it's difficult to include that line and, well, deliver that line without looking a bit like Ben Affleck here. A goofy lamb in a cosplay suit being hung out to be slaughtered. We are looking for terrible lines that require very little backstory explanation, hopefully made worse by absolutely dire performances. Have you got it? Well, if you haven't, you'll catch up along the way, I hope. Here we go. The top 5 worst lines ever delivered on screen. Number 5. Tough guys don't dance. Ryan O'Neal. Now, this one may have stormed straight to number 1 if it wasn't for 2 reasons. Firstly, my palpable personal hatred for number 1. And 2, I cannot be totally sure that this catastrophe of a cinematic moment was not due to the editor slumping forward on the copy tab key after consuming a bowl of prescription Lucky Charms in order to simply fight through this low-swinging testicle of a movie, and thus, unfortunately, looping this moment into godless infinity.
I don't think we should talk about it. Unless you're prepared to kill them.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God.
Holy shit. What is this offence to all of the senses that you have been gifted all at once? Well, I'll tell you what it is. This is Oscar-nominated, Golden Globe-nominated, David Di Donatello winning actor Ryan O'Neal. This is Ryan O'Neal and writer-director Norman Mailer deciding to take a bath into your eyes and ears at the same time. As some sort of thanks for you having sat through 3/4 of the most unrelenting shit you've ever been unsuspensed through. It's an appalling movie. This moment almost fits it. Almost. Number 4, House of the Dead, Jonathan Cherry, and Morbius, Jared Leto. It's a tie! Purely because it seems like they have committed pretty similar crimes, and I couldn't distinguish between the two. So get in the stocks, Morbius and House of the Dead. First off, let's look at Morbius.
This is an antibody. It inhibits ferritin and induces a massive iron overload, instant hemochromatosis, deadly to bats, fatal to humans.
What the fuck are you talking about? You're a scientist. You must know that deadly and fatal are the same friggin' thing. And it's clearly not as if you've dragged out a thesaurus in order to try and bamboozle us with your skills as a cunning linguist, is it? This is like last year of primary school type vocabulary. You should know there ain't no difference. If you're a human injected with this stuff, you're not going, well, thank Christ it's only fatal. Likewise, if you're a bat, you're not flapping happily afterwards going to Mrs. Bat and the whole bat fam. Well, thank goodness we're not humans. Imagine that, we're only going to have to die deadlily. How a man with the self-perpetuating appearance of some higher existence like Jared Leto didn't notice that quite moronic solipsism is rather quite telling, don't you think, Belland? And that brings us to joint fourth in a similar vein, as in an entire fuck-up of the English language, House of the Dead.
These things came and they attacked the Wraith, started killing everybody. Those of us that could get away did. We ran. We finally got to the boat, but it wasn't there.
Well, you didn't get to the fucking boat then. You actually and definitely did not finally get to the boat. Whoever wrote this is literally a cretin. And before you proclaim it's a B movie, it shouldn't count, no. I classify a B movie as something that with a little bit of good luck and a fair bit of effort, I could have some hope in funding. This cost $13 million. $13 million does not a B movie make. Granted, I have no idea where any of that money went because this is a pile of crap. This entirely reprehensible outpouring of a rich man's hobby is a crime to humanity and is another indication, along with Elon Musk, as to why we're all fucked beyond redemption. And that line, well, that line is just the cherry atop the bomb. I actually hate it all. Number 3, Pearl Harbor, Josh Hartnett. Yes, I know a joint force means that we should skip straight through to number 2 in order for there only to be 5 in there. Yes, that's how it works with the music charts, but I'm not the music charts. I still matter. So number 3 is this doozy.
Carl, this is Walker. We need to get those planes fueled and loaded right now. What's going on out there? Huh?
Danny, what the hell's that noise? You guys doing target practice or something?
I think World War II just started.
Oh, America. I don't think I need to say anything here, really. Anyone who doesn't know what I'm on about, kindly go and find your SAT level history books and have a quick refresh. Actually, on a side note, did anyone see the movie about the Japanese perspective of this moment? You know, when they kind of like went out and went, let's go start World War II. No? Oh, of course you didn't. Firstly, because it doesn't exist. And secondly, because that stupid moment would never be written. Number 2, Attack of the Clones, Hayden Christensen.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Here everything is soft and smooth.
What are you babbling about, you silly little man? Actually, this nearly didn't get in because Hayden Christensen is, in fact, up there with one of the worst actors of all time. He is so untalented, he might actually be unwell. However, I saw him in Shattered Glass, and both him and that movie were exceptional. So, he can act. I know, I was as shocked as you are. Which makes this piece of acting even freaking worse. And the line. Oh my god. The line. Is this what George Lucas thinks flirting sounds like? Reaffirming to the object of your desire that they are not in fact sand? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm surprised she managed to keep her clothes on after that poetical piece of lexical coquetry. Now, if no one can explain to me why a god somewhere did not shoot a lightning bolt straight through the mind of the creator of this god-awful piece of trash, eradicating it and this thought from all existence, well, then frankly, gods do not exist. Either that or they're fucking shit at flirting too. You choose. Number 1, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Andy McDowell.
For the first time in my whole life, I realized I totally and utterly loved one person. And it wasn't the person standing next to me in the veil, it's the person standing opposite me now. In the rain.
Is it still raining? I hadn't noticed.
To put into words my absolute disdain for this piece of acting, writing, directing, everything is possibly the hardest thing I've ever attempted to do. I despise it. With all of my being. Maybe I hate it because the movie is actually good. It's a good film. Yes, it's 90s through and through. And yes, its celebration of the upper class is somewhat irritating. I mean, the notion that it tries to impress upon its audience that waking up late to a friend's wedding when you live in a 3-bed in Notting Hill and seem to spend your days walking around drinking lattes picking the icing off pastries and still finding the time to speak like you've just eaten a member of the royal family makes you somehow akin to the everyman is frankly laughable. But if you can look at it in either an idealistic manner or employ a mocking eye of Jarvis Cockeresque knowingness while watching it, in the main, it's quite an enjoyable romp. So, the fact that this line pops up right at the end to undo all that work, to shit upon all the effort that you've put in to not succumb to your bitter hatred of cliched rom-coms and the aristocracy, is less a slap to the face and more a musket to the groin. It's awful! What does she mean? Is she expecting us to believe that this is some sort of flirtatious nod? That she was so caught up in the moment that she was completely unaware of the fucking monsoon swirling around them? If so, and that's the best case scenario, it's friggin' moronic. The fact that Hugh Grant's character didn't reply with a simple, are you ill? In order to slap that level of toxic cringe away is also unbelievable. You know, just, yeah, I get what you're doing here, but I just threw up my croissant. Or is this a dirty wink? Is she unable to tell the difference between the effect the weather is having on her and the effect that our Hugh is? If so, well done Hugh. She must be bloody sopping. Or was this written as a sarcastic line? After all, her character has contained a certain amount of powerful sass all throughout proceedings, up until now. Maybe this is meant to be a kind of, oh, is it raining? I hadn't noticed. You know, thanks for explaining the weather to me. Kinda akin to this moment in Moonraker when they had to destroy 3 pods.
1 down, 2 to go. 1 down, 2 to go.
Look at that exhausted scorn. Thanks, James. I can fucking count. Quick shout out to my mate Al here for pointing out that stunning piece of eye acting. But if any of that was the case, if sarcasm was the aim, which, not incidentally, importantly, would have made it a cajillion times better, then this is on Andie MacDowell. She is culpable. Entirely. Herself. And I know that she can act because I once bought some L'Oreal shampoo based on the honesty of her performance.
Love stories like that.
All I can say is that this is friggin' putrid. This might be the worst moment in movie history, let alone the worst line. Everything about it makes me want to destroy a small village somewhere, just to unleash some rage. And that village does not deserve it. But equally, I don't deserve this. So fuck you, Andie MacDowell. Fuck you, Richard Curtis. Fuck you, Mike Newell. Oh, and fuck the Tories. I'm sure they had something to do with it. Fucking sounds like they did. Now, I'm off to find the most irritatingly named village in Berkshire. Laters.
I did that.